Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Well, happy Monday to all of you. I hope you all had a great weekend. I know I said I wasn't going to do a video for a couple of days, but I just can't stop thinking. So I started entertaining myself the way that a very boring person would do, and started looking at some numbers. And I thought I'd share it with you. So I know I've covered a little bit of this before, but I would like to maybe put this information on a platter that everyone can digest. Because I hear a lot out there of how great the economy is doing and how much jobs are picking up and everything like that. And even given the fact that there's a lot of companies laying off people, letting people go indefinitely, that they're closing up their doors and things like that, I still hear from our community members that in some localized areas employment is booming and people are working and you know, people are doing better and such. However, I just want to give you a perspective of what it looks like nationwide and not just in a small area. For example, here where I live, it seems that you know, people are working and that there's jobs available. I see signs, actual physical signs on businesses hiring and things like that. Okay, so it seems like things are doing better, but there's a couple of ways that the real state of our economy is hidden, all right, by the powers that be. There's a couple of ways that I think. This is what I think, ladies and gentlemen, so please do your own research, okay? But I think that there's a couple of ways, there may be more, okay, but at least a couple of ways that I can see that the true state of our economy is hidden from us. And one of those ways is entitlements, okay? So in the US, the last I read, about 1 out of every 7 people in the US receives entitlements of one sort or another. All right? And what I mean by it being hidden is that it's not in your face anymore. So for example, go back to the Great Depression, okay? Go take a look at some pictures in the Great Depression. Some of the pictures that stand out the most to me are people waiting in long lines to get free food, okay? Well, that still exists, ladies and gentlemen. The thing is that we can't see those long lines because they are disguised by a debit card. It's called an EBT card, all right? Now, this video is not anything to do with entitlements and, you know, about people getting entitlements and things like that. It has nothing to do with that, okay? But what I want you to know is that we can't see it with our eyes. Back then, during the Great Depression, when you saw lines that were blocks long of people getting in line to get, you know, some food, you could see it with your eyes. It was in your face. Nowadays, you can't see it. You know, today in the U.S., there's what, almost 40 million people on benefits to get food, right? But you can't see that with your eyes because they pay for their food just like everyone else. You know, normally people nowadays pay for their food and almost everything with a debit card or a credit card, right? So like I said, it's not in our face like it used to be in the past. So that could be one way that the average American person can see that, well, we must be doing better. Take away all of those EBT cards and have the recipients go to a food shelter to get food. Then that would be in our face, right? We would be able to see that. I'm not recommending that we do that, okay? Like I said, that's a different discussion or a different topic for a different video. And I've actually done videos on that in the past if you want to take a look at those. But what I'm saying is how it is hidden from us, okay? So we all think that we are doing really well because we get fed some numbers And in all actuality, the numbers are not representative of what's really going on. And that's what I wanted to show you in this short presentation. So we're going to start off by taking a quick look at the unemployment rates by state. Okay? And it looks like it's pretty good. Okay? Surprisingly, well, not really surprisingly, Alaska is the worst state when it comes to unemployment. In a way, that should be surprising, but in a way, it's not. So we start off with Hawaii has the best unemployment rate in the nation. But if you take a look at what's going on in Hawaii and with their homeless problem, are they really doing that great? And I do know that we have a few people here from Hawaii, a few community members from Hawaii. So please chime in. Can you let us know what it's really looking like on the ground in Hawaii? Are things really great? Is the economy there really booming? Because by looking at this unemployment rate of 2.3 in Hawaii, to me, that would say that, man, things are really, really going well in Hawaii. And I personally don't know. I'm not on the ground over there. So any of our community members that are from Hawaii, and I know we've got a few, please let us know in the comments. If you wouldn't mind letting us know at least what island you live on or what area you live in, and let us know, yeah, things are going really great here. I don't see any, large amounts of homeless people in the street. I don't see a lot of people needing charity, things like that. Now, I'm not saying that if you see one homeless person in the street that's, a contagion. There's always going to be people that are in tough times, always. Even during the best of times, you're going to have homeless people, you're going to have people that need charity, etc., etc. But if you live in Hawaii or in one of these, top, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, one of these top 9 states that have less than 3% unemployment, let us know what's the vibe where you're living. Is the economy really booming? Are things really going really well? You don't see any homeless in the streets, etc., etc. So let us know, because that's the power of having a community that's diverse and that's spread out really over the entire country and some other countries abroad. All right, is that you can get information from those areas that you yourself can't see. So please let us know. But these are the unemployment rates that they give us. And I think the last time I saw something on the national unemployment rate, it was like 3.7 or something like that. This here site doesn't have that. But as you can see here, I mean, there's probably only about, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, maybe 15 or 20 states that are above 4% unemployment. Okay, and as you can see here, Alaska is the worst at 6.4% unemployment. Okay, but I'm not sure if that affects the national rate that much, because Alaska doesn't have that many people in it. I think we have less than 750,000 people in the state. So when you look at that number and you go ahead and put it into the national unemployment, it probably doesn't affect it as much as some other states would. Okay, so this is the picture that they're giving us with unemployment. Okay, but ladies and gentlemen, I've covered this before, so I'm going to make this really quick. If you go to the U.S. national debt clock, all right, and this here is a current one. This is live. Okay, so if you go over here, this is live, and let's see, right now our national debt is at almost $9 trillion. So we're going to be hitting $22 trillion pretty soon. Okay, so if you go to the national debt clock and you take a look at our workforce, okay, so U.S. workforce now, let's say 157 million people out of 329 are working. Okay, so less than half of the people in the United States are currently working. Okay, now this here says officially unemployed. This is the number, all right, this here is the number that they use to get our unemployment. percentage. Okay, but look at right under it. Look at right under it. Actual unemployed. It's more than double. The actual unemployed is more than double of what the official number is. And they put it right here for you, for everyone to see. They lay it out right here for everyone to see. Okay? And not only that, of the 157 million that are employed, okay, 129, or let's say 130 million are full-time workers, and 27 million are part-time workers. So let me ask you something, ladies and gentlemen. Do you think that part-time workers pay taxes? Probably not, okay? Do you think that all of the people, do you think that out of the 130 million people that are full-time workers, do you think that all of them pay taxes? No, absolutely not. As a matter of fact, out of the 157 million people that are currently working, let's see if I can find this number really quick. All right. Let's see, where is it? Oh, maybe I can't find the number that easily. Let's see. If you guys want to bear with me, I'll try to find it, but I do know that it's here. Let's see. I'm not going to find it in a hurry because I don't want to waste your guys' time. Okay? But you can pretty much gauge right here. Look at this. Debt per citizen and debt per taxpayer. Right here, debt per taxpayer is roughly 3 times more than debt per citizen, which means that only about 1/3 of the people working are paying taxes. Okay? Yeah, so I would say about 1/3 of the people working are paying taxes. So, but as far as the paying tax thing, it really doesn't have anything to do with this video. But I just wanted to show you it's like I said, things are in front of you. All you got to do is do a little research. Okay? All you have to do is just do a little bit of research and you can take a look. All right? So, like I said, right here are official unemployed. And why is there an official and actual unemployed number? Why are there 2 numbers? You're either employed or you're unemployed. What's official or unofficial about it? Okay? So that's one of the points that I want to make. That the numbers that are being given to us, all right, officially are not correct. And they themselves, this is from the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve themselves tells us, listen, this is what we are reporting. We are reporting 5.9 million unemployed. But the actual number of unemployed is 12.3 million. Okay? So ladies and gentlemen, do your own research. Don't just believe anything, okay? Don't just believe what you're being told. Okay? Because there's usually something else behind it, okay? So let's go ahead and come to this quick article, which is a few months old, but it's still relevant to what we're talking about because I'm pretty sure that this information is probably still accurate, if not more so than it was back then. Okay, so if our country as a whole is doing so great, okay, then why is it that 41% of Americans cannot come up with $400, all right, for a simple emergency? So let's say you're one of these 41% of Americans. You're driving down the road, you hit a bump, your tire goes flat and it ruins your rim. What are you going to do? You need your car to go to work, right? You know, do you at least have $400 to make that repair so that you can commute back and forth to work, you know, during your everyday life? 41% of Americans cannot. They cannot come up with it. So what do? They end up having to go into debt. All right? So 41% of Americans cannot come up with $400. If our economy as a nation is doing so great, our physical economy is what I mean, is doing so great, why can 41% of Americans not come up with $400 for a simple emergency? I mean, some people, ladies and gentlemen, if they get a speeding ticket is a life-changing event. Because you have some people that are working 2, maybe 3 jobs already just to keep food on the table. All right? Just to keep food on the table. People that maybe don't even see their kids, but maybe once a week for a few hours. And they're working 2, 3 jobs just to keep food on the table. They're going to work. They commit a victimless violation. All right, maybe they're speeding 7, 8 miles over the speed limit. Maybe they're speeding 10 miles over the speed limit. Whatever it is. Okay, they get a $180, $200 ticket. That can be a life-changing event. They might not be able to pay that ticket. They may have to decide whether they pay that ticket or put food on the table. And there so begins the spiral downward. They can't pay the ticket, so they don't pay it. So then what happens? They get pulled over again 6 months later. Guess what? They go to jail. Their car gets taken away, etc., etc., etc. All right? So, you know, I'm trying to put this out there not to try to argue with anyone. You know, I don't want someone on the other side saying the economy is doing better and me saying, no, it's not. The economy is doing better. No, it's not. It's not an argument. It's just trying to show you my perspective and how I see it. Okay? Because, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you this right now. The Alaska Prepper is doing pretty well. All right? My family has what they need to eat. Obviously, I have what I need to eat. All right? Because you've seen me. I'm a fat body. And fat bodies usually, you know, aren't starving. Okay? But anyways, you know, I digress. You know, like I said, I have what I need here. You know, I have the things that I need. I earn enough income to, you know, live a comfortable life and to be able to provide for my family. And a lot of the peoples that I know around here do as well. All right? I know a few that are getting help, you know, from different places. But for the most part, things look like they're okay. But are they really okay? You know, only because you see what you see, does it really reflect on what's going on a national, you know, on a national basis, on what's going on nationwide. Okay, so that's what I wanted to get you guys to open your eyes to. And like I said, do a little bit of research. All right, this article that I'm reading here, it may be wrong. Okay, it may be wrong, but I've seen several articles like this citing the same numbers, 441%, and I've also seen articles citing like $500 or $1,000. I've seen articles citing that like 50% of Americans can't come up with $1,000 or something like that. You know, but something similar to this. So another thing I wanted to show you, why is this? If let's say that the economy is doing really good, just like this is telling us, all right? This here is telling us that unemployment is pretty low, and thus, usually when unemployment is pretty low, the economy is doing really well. Okay, well, let's take a look at this. This is the average or the median household income in the U.S. And this only goes back to 2017, all right? So they don't have 2018's figures here where, you know, 2018 is not over yet, so maybe that's why they don't have it yet. But this goes back, this goes all the way to 2017. And as you can see here, in 2017, let me see if I can enlarge this a little bit so you guys can see it better on the screen. Okay. So if you can see here, in 2017, our median household income in 2017 was $61,372. Now that sounds pretty good. It really does. I don't make that much. I don't make $61,000 a year. Well, that sounds pretty good. However, let's go all the way back to the year 2000, okay, and see what it was back then. Let's see. In the year 2000, the median household income was $59,938. Okay, let's see. About $1,500 less, about $1,500 less than what it is now. So in 17 years, the median household income has only increased by $1,500. Let me ask you something, ladies and gentlemen, and ask yourselves this. Do you think that inflation has gone up by more than that? If you take 1,500 divided by 61, you know, 61,000. Do you think that inflation has gone up by more than that difference? I think that it has, and I'm going to show you right now that it has, and what an effect inflation has on our purchasing power. All right, because back in 2000, let's call it 60,000. Back in 2000, $60,000 could purchase you what approximately $90,000 can purchase you today. So us making $61,000 today is really taking a pay cut. We're really not making more than we did 10 years ago. We are actually making less. If you look at the chart will tell you, yes, we're making $1,500 a year more today. Oh, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that. My alarm's going off. All right. Let me go ahead and make sure that this is turned off so it doesn't pop back up. This is live, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, here we go. All right, sorry about that. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I also wanted to apologize real quick before I carry on with the terrible sound quality of the interview that I did with Miss Erin T. Scott. It definitely did not do it justice whatsoever. I think that I'm not going to be able to really do interviews anymore because I just do not have the ability to be able to connect with someone on Skype or Zoom or any of those platforms in order to be able to do a quality interview where the sound is going to be good and at least have a live picture. So I tried. If you stood through that interview, I appreciate it, and I hope that if you did, you were able to get something out of it. Okay, but let's go ahead and carry on. So even though we are making as a nation on average an extra $1,500 per household, all right, we are really making less because the purchasing power of those dollars has been diminished. Okay, so let's take a look. Let's remember that in 2000, the average home income was $60,000. Okay, it was like $59,938. Okay, so let's say $60,000 in 2000. So let's go over here and take it to this calculator. All right, this calculates the value of the dollar in 2001. So for example, in 2001, if you had $1, all right, if you bought something for $1 in 2001, how much would it cost you to buy that same item today? All right, or how many dollars would it take today to buy you the same amount that $1 back in 2000 would buy you? Okay, not 2001, 2000. Okay, so let's go ahead and put $60,000, or let's go ahead and put $59,938 because that's exactly what it was, right? So in order for you to have the same purchasing power today that you did back in 2000, all right? In order for $59,938 to have the same purchasing power today that it did back in the year 2000, today you would need $87,796. Okay, so let that sink in for a minute. So are we really better off than we were 17 years ago? We're talking about 17 years ago. Are we really fiscally better off than we were back in 2000? I would say not. Okay, just by looking at this simple metric, I would say not. Okay, because today the dollars that you are being paid, all right, buy you a lot less than the dollars that you were being paid back in 2000 for the same amount of labor. Okay, so if you're still spending 40 hours a week at the office, at your job, whatever it may be, if you're still spending 40 hours a week at your job, which is the same number of hours that you were spending at your job in 2000, you're being paid drastically less than what you were being paid in 2000. Maybe not nominally meaning in number terms, you're being paid a little more. But in physical terms, in the terms of purchasing power, you're being paid a lot less. Okay? So this is the point that I wanted to make in this video, is that even though things look like they're better on face value, you have to go ahead and peel that onion and look inside, right? and find what's really going on. All right, because when you look at an onion, all right, you can hold it and it has no effect on you. But when you start peeling those layers back and you're still holding it in front of you, you start crying because you're getting down to the nitty gritty of what that onion really is. Okay, so this is what I wanted to showcase to you today. Do your own research. Take a look at this. Let me just show you one last thing. So some of you may be asking, but why is that? All right, some people that may be new to the community that haven't heard my rants on money before. Why is it that $1 in 2000 can buy me 1.5 times more than it can buy me today, or vice versa? Why is it that $1 today can buy me so much less than $1 back in 2000 could buy me? Well, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that don't understand why that is, it's because of this right here. It's because the more of something that you have, the less that it is worth, or the less that it is valued at. Not necessarily worth, all right, but the less that it is valued at. And let me give you an example. Let's say you go to the farmer's market and you're selling apples, okay? And you're the only booth there selling apples, and no one else in your county is selling apples. You are going to be able to charge a premium for your apples, and people will more than likely pay it because you are the only person that has apples for sale, okay? Now, let's reverse that. Let's say that you go to the farmer's market and there's 100 booths, but 75 of them are selling apples. Do you think that you will be getting more for your apples than if you were the only booth selling apples? Or do you think you would be getting less? I would say that you would be getting less, okay? Because there's a much bigger supply, there's more competition, all right? You're going to be getting less, all right? And that may have been not a very good example, but it's one that I could come up with on the fly, all right? So the law of supply and demand states that the more of something there is, the less that it is valued at, not the less that it is worth, okay? Because those apples still have the same amount of calories, no matter how much you sell them for, okay? So they're all going to have the same amount of calories no matter what. But what is a person willing to pay for them depending on how many there are, all right, and how many people are selling them? Because if I don't want to pay $1 for your apple in your booth, I'm going to go and find a booth where I can get one for 75 cents. Or if there's a booth next to them that's selling them for 50 cents, I may buy it from them. Okay, well, but you know, like I said, I digress again. So this is why the value of your dollars has gone down so much. So here, if you can see this right here is the year 2000. Look at the money supply in the year 2000. It was less than 6 trillion. Right? In the year 2000, the money supply was less than 6 trillion. All right. Now, this line or this chart is a chart of how much money is being put into our economy, okay? And now look at how much money. This goes through July of 2017, by the way. And then look at how much money has been created from 2000 to 2017 in July. You're looking at, let's say, 6 trillion. We're looking at almost a tripling of the money supply. All right? Almost a tripling, about 2.5 times more money has been created from 2000 to 2017 than there was in the past. So the more money in circulation, the less that the money is worth, the more that it takes for you to buy stuff. This is why we are experiencing the inflation that we are experiencing. Okay, so if you take a quick look at this again, I wanted to show you something real quick again. So we're looking, no, this one right here. So we're looking back 10 years, right? They tell us, we've been told for the longest time that our inflation rate is about 2% a year, okay? Our inflation is about 2% a year. Well, this right here shows you, let's go ahead and bring this back to $1. let's see. $1. We need to go back to 2010. Let's go back to 2008. Is that no 2000? What were we doing? 2000? Look at that. Yeah, because that's when most of the money printing started. So, ladies and gentlemen, they tell us that annual inflation over this period 2.4%. But this is what they do to try to manipulate your thinking. Annual inflation rate 2.4%. But they don't tell you that it's inflation on top of inflation. So if you were to look at this as a layman, all right, just look at it for what it is at face value. What is the inflation rate of the dollar in the last 18 years? If you look at it, it's 46%, right? 46%. Is the inflation rate of the dollar over the last 18 years. But they tell you it's an annual inflation over this period was 2.4%. Yes, but that doesn't mean that it's not compounded. All right, it's almost like when you have a credit card. If you accrue $10 worth of interest, all right, that you got to pay back next month, and when they recalculate your interest, that $10 is in that calculation. So you're paying interest on top of interest. Same thing with inflation. Inflation is accrued on top of itself year over year. So what makes it sound like, oh, the inflation rate is really not that bad. It's only 2.4%. You know, take it over that period of time. It's not. Between 2000 and 2018, all right, the dollar has been inflated by almost 50%. All right, we have to now pay almost 50% more for the same goods and services that we had to pay back in 2000. Okay, so that's how I look at these things. Okay, because someone could just do an article and say, yeah, the inflation rate over the past 18 years hasn't been that bad. It's only averaged 2.14% over the past 18 years. And people would be like, well, that's not really that bad. You know, that's really not that bad. You know, why do we need to go to a gold standard? Because, you know, gold, the amount of gold that's added to the world's supply annually is roughly about 3%. And it's said that that is a really good number. Around 3% is a really good number because the amount of people that are added to the earth every year is roughly around 3%. So gold can inflate at the same amount that the people are inflating, so it should have a constant value. So why this should be even better, all right? This should be even better. We only have an inflation of 2.4%. But it's not, ladies and gentlemen, all right? This is accrued over time. So in reality, we've lost almost 50%, all right? Just do your own research. When you read something or when you hear something, take it with a grain of salt. Even what I'm telling you, go and do your own research, all right? I don't speak gospel, all right? I'm not holier than anyone by any means at all right? All I'm trying to do is put out some ideas so that you guys can maybe have a light go off in your head and say, wait a minute, this is something I really want to look into a little more, all right? And go and look into it, okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, having said that, again, I carried on longer than what I should have, so let me go ahead and sign off. Thank you very much. Please leave your comments. Leave your comments, especially if you're living in one of those states where the unemployment is really, really low. Let us know, what is it looking like in your area. I've heard a lot of positive comments that, hey, this where I live here is really good. People are working, this and that. And, that's a great thing. That is a great thing, right? I do not want I don't want our economy and our people to not do well. I want us to do very well, okay? I don't want there to be a two-tier class in this country. A middle class is very important, all right? All right, we're the ones that produce stuff, that make things, all right? So I don't want a two-tier class. So I'm not telling you these things because I want the economy, because I want the United States to do bad. I'm telling you these things so that you can take a look at some of the things that you hear and see a little bit closer and make an educated decision on what you're going to do based on your own research, not based on what you're being told. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me go ahead and sign off. I do have to get ready for work. So thank you very much for joining me today. I hope that you got a little bit of value out of this video. I hope that it got your juices flowing enough to where you'll do a few clicks and go on Google and look some things up. Because, ladies and gentlemen, the internet is a beautiful thing. It really is. For as censored as it is still good enough to go ahead and do some research and get some decent information that you may not be able to get otherwise. Okay, so make sure that you use it to your advantage. All right, so have a great day. If you enjoyed this, please do go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I'd appreciate that, and the community would appreciate it as well. All right, don't forget that if you guys have some Amazon shopping to do, please use my Amazon link. If you guys have some precious metal shopping to do and you're doing it online, remember, I recommend that you use a local coin shop first before you go online. However, that's what I do, okay? You have to do what you do. However, if you do want to use a online precious metals dealer, please use my link to SD Bullion. It helps to support the channel, and they do have extremely competitive prices on their spot, on their premiums and on their silver and gold. Okay, having said that, ladies and gentlemen, the only other way that you can really support the channel without it costing you a penny is to just let one or two of the ads run through. All right, and that really helps to support the channel and allows me to continue to do giveaways to the community. So remember to be good to each other. When good people do good things happen. Remember to reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world would be a better place, and you know that it will be a better place. Many blessings to all of you and your families. This is Alaska Prepper, and I'm out.